All right, so we're diving deep today into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Really deep.
You know the book, I know the book, our listeners know the book.
Right.
So we're going beyond just surface level here.
We're going for the real nitty-gritty today.
Yeah.
The stuff that can really make a difference.
Exactly. And we're lucky because this book is based on, 500 successful people.
Over 500, over 25 years of research. It's an incredible compilation of wisdom.
That's wild, 25 years.
A lifetime's work.
But, and this is what I love about it, it's not like a get-rich-quick scheme.
No, not at all.
It's more like a philosophy.
For success in any area of life.
And one of the things that really pops right from the beginning is that burning desire.
Oh, absolutely. Hill's
Wow.
adamant about that. It's not just wanting something, it's this all-consuming drive.
Yeah, like that story you told me.
About the little girl.
Yeah, the one with my friend's uncle. And she basically, hypnotized him.
Into giving her what she wanted.
Sounds unbelievable.
It does, but it speaks to how potent focused intention can be.
I mean, it makes you wonder, are we even using a fraction of that power we all have?
That's precisely Hill's point. We have this immense power within us, but it's about learning to harness it. And that's where his 6 steps to riches come in. Turning desire into, well, in this case, money.
But it's not just a set of steps, right? There's so much depth to each one. Take the first one. You got to fix in your mind the exact amount.
The exact amount you want, not just, oh, I want to be rich.
It's got to be specific. I want this much by this date.
Exactly. Crystallize that desire, and then what are you willing to give for it?
There's a trade-off. Edwin Barnes, remember that guy?
Well, who was determined to work with Thomas Edison?
Started from nothing. Did whatever it took to get there.
Burning bridges. That's what Hill calls it. Total commitment.
And then there's the knowledge part.
Specialized knowledge. Hill's clear about that. Just knowing stuff isn't enough.
Right, it's got to be the right knowledge. Used strategically.
It's like he compares university professors who might have all this general knowledge
But not necessarily wealth.
to someone like Henry Ford. Maybe didn't go to college for years,
But was a master in his own field.
and that made all the difference. Remember that story about the grocery store salesman?
During the Depression,
Yeah, what does he do? Uses his bookkeeping skills, makes a plan,
starts a business.
and thrives. Proves specialized knowledge plus action can overcome anything, even a depression.
Makes you think, are we learning the right things today?
In this age of information overload, it's easy to get lost.
So Hill pushes us to be strategic about what we learn and how we use it.
Absolutely. But it's not just knowledge. There's imagination, too.
Oh yeah, the workshop of the mind, he calls it.
It's where ideas become reality.
Like the old kettle story he tells. A simple cooking pot becomes Coca-Cola.
With some imagination and a whole lot of marketing. It's seeing potential where others don't.
And remember that story, Dr. Frank Gonzalez?
The one who needed $1 million to start that college.
Yeah, and he didn't just write grants, he imagined having it.
Preached a whole sermon about it. And someone in the congregation was so inspired, they gave him the money.
Wild.
It shows the power of aligning thoughts, emotions, action, all of it, with your desire. Imagination can shape reality. That's what Hill's saying.
It's like mind over matter almost.
It is, in a way.
But then he brings us back down to earth with planning.
Organized planning, he calls it. You got to have the vision, but then the roadmap to get there.
That bridge, yeah. And he ties it to leadership, too.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just planning for yourself, it's developing those qualities.
The ones that attract success. Makes you wonder, are leaders born or made?
Hill believed they were made. He lays out specific traits. Definiteness of purpose, self-confidence.
That willingness to go the extra mile.
It's about becoming someone who achieves but also inspires others too.
And then there's the mastermind group.
Like your team of advisors, people with different skills, all working towards that same goal.
Like climbing a mountain, right? Easier with experienced climbers helping you.
Exactly. Think about Henry Ford. He had Edison, Firestone, all these brilliant minds around him.
Wow, that's a power group.
That's a mastermind in action. Collaboration amplifies your strength.
Makes you think, do we collaborate enough?
Maybe not. We often try to go it alone.
But even with the best plans, the best team, there's going to be obstacles.
And that's where persistence comes in. The foundation stone of success, Hill calls it.
Every great achievement had to overcome something.
It's that ability to keep going that separates the dreamers from the achievers.
Like Fannie Hurst, years of struggle as a writer.
Then finally, Broadway success.
Makes you wonder how many people give up right before the breakthrough.
And Kate Smith, singing for free for years.
Honing that craft.
Until that big contract. Persistence, dedication, it pays off.
It's like success is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. A winding road, but you got to keep moving.
Talking about persistence can't help but think about fear. How do you persist when you're scared?
Hill dives into this. He talks about 6 ghosts of fear.
Ghosts, that's a good way to put it, haunt you.
Poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death.
Whoa, that's a heavy list. I mean, some must be worse than others, right?
Hill thought poverty was one of the most destructive. It stops you before you even start.
That scarcity mindset.
Yeah, I don't have enough, I'll never have enough. Keeps you from taking risks.
So how do we fight that? Just pretend we're not scared.
It's more about understanding fear. Hill says it often comes from a misunderstanding.
Like with poverty, maybe we don't understand money.
Right. He talks about developing a money consciousness.
Not worshiping it, but seeing it as a tool.
A tool for good.
Right.
It's about abundance, not scarcity.
We tend to think wealth equals greed.
But Hill says, no, it can be a force for good. Creating opportunities, solving problems.
It's how you use it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Organized capital is essential for society to function.
Can't deny that. But it can also be abused, for sure.
A powerful tool, you got to wield it responsibly.
Thinking about this whole societal thing makes me think about criticism. We're so worried about what others think.
Fear of judgment. It's crippling.
Keeps us from expressing ourselves, taking risks.
Hill even says it can weaken your immune system, make you sick.
Wow, that's a powerful connection, mind and body.
He emphasizes self-confidence, knowing your own worth, to fight that fear.
Building yourself up from within, not relying on external validation.
Right.
But thinking about self-worth, it's hard not to jump to loss of love. We all crave connection.
We do. And the fear of losing that, it's a powerful motivator.
Can make us compromise our own needs just to avoid rejection.
Hill says it often comes from a lack of self-love, believing you're only worthy if someone else loves you.
But he says, cultivate self-love first. Know you're complete as you are.
Exactly. Embrace your flaws, celebrate your uniqueness.
You are worthy of love, period.
And healthy boundaries are key. Don't let others define your worth.
Give and take, in balance.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, shifting gears a bit, thinking about connection makes me think of aging. In our society, it's almost like a fear.
We're obsessed with youth.
But Hill says that fear often comes from equating aging with decline.
Like it's all downhill from there.
But he challenges that. Old age can be a time of wisdom, peace.
It's a perspective shift, right? Not a loss, but a gain.
Exactly. There's beauty in age, a different kind of beauty.
Experience, wisdom, the story is etched on your face.
He encourages a positive mindset about aging. Focus on the opportunities.
Keep learning, keep growing.
And share that wisdom with others. It's a valuable asset. But of course, talking about time passing inevitably leads to
the big one, death. The ultimate fear.
the great unknown.
It can paralyze you, stop you from truly living.
Hill says a lot of that fear is based on speculation.
Not facts. We build it up in our minds.
He says, examine your beliefs about death. Don't just blindly accept them.
Death is natural. We all face it eventually.
It's a sobering thought, but also liberating. Knowing that helps you appreciate life more.
Shift from fear to gratitude.
Exactly. Focus on what you have now.
And Hill says leaving a legacy can help overcome that fear.
Contributing to the world. Making a difference that outlasts you.
Finding purpose.
A purpose bigger than yourself. And he reminds us, death might not be the end.
More of a transition.
Energy can't be created or destroyed, just transformed.
We're part of that cycle.
Kind of comforting, isn't it? Knowing we're part of something bigger.
It is, yeah.
And a burning desire for achievement focused on service, that can help too.
When you're busy living a meaningful life,
You have less time to worry about what comes after.
makes sense. It's like you've got this team of all-stars cheering you on from the sidelines.
In a way, yeah. And he says there are ways to tap into that wisdom, to actively seek their guidance.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Like, how do we actually do that?
He suggests creating what he calls an imaginary council, made up of people you really admire, like Hill himself. He had Emerson on his council, Edison, even Lincoln.
Talk about an all-star lineup.
It's about having mental conversations with these figures. Like, when you're facing a tough choice, imagine what they'd advise.
Like a board meeting, but in your head.
Exactly. Hill believed it could elevate your thinking, give you access to their knowledge.
Makes you think, maybe we don't tap into that enough. The power of our minds, connecting with those who inspire us.
And that mastermind principle, it's not just imaginary, it's real-life mentorship too.
So find those people who challenge you, support you.
Exactly. Surround yourself with the right people.
So As we wrap up our Think and Grow Rich deep dive, it's clear success isn't about luck.
No, it's about aligning your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions.
It's about shaping your own reality.
And Hill's philosophy, it's empowering, but also a challenge.
You're in control, but you got to take responsibility.
He doesn't give you a magic formula, just principles.
But if you apply them with persistence, with faith, with that burning desire.
The results can be extraordinary.
So, for our listener out there who's ready to take action, think about it. What's the one principle from Think and Grow Rich that really speaks to you?
And what's one tiny step you can take today to start using it?
Remember, you don't have to do this alone.
Build your mastermind, find your mentors, collaborate.
Tap into that collective wisdom. And as we close out this deep dive, here's a final thought to ponder. What's that one burning desire you've been holding on to?
And what can you do right now to fan those flames, to make it a reality?
We all have that potential for greatness within us.
He'll believe that, and Think and Grow Rich shows you the way.
Keep learning, keep growing, never stop believing.
In yourself and in your dreams.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, keep those minds curious and those desires burning bright.
See you next time.